Alright guys, a short update on the price of Bitcoin. First of all, I must say about the current situation, I think that it's very clear that we have like the channels, the horizontal channels for the price action going sideways from 7,800 to 8,600 divided basically by $200. You see this channel, it was also around here, and we always have moves to the upside, to the downside, to collect stop orders here and there, and basically right now we are trading within this channel from $8,200 to $8,400 for a while. The thing is, technically, since we moved to the upside here, it's probably likely that we will move to the next channel over here, to the zone from $8,400 to $8,600. But I don't really like that we don't have the higher high here. I don't like the fact that we have probably more tests of this level of $8,200. So although I'm remaining more or less positive for the price moving upwards, it's still very high chance that we will move to the zone of $8,000 to $8,200 to collect a lot of the stop orders which are here, and maybe even go below $8,000, whereas a lot of additional stop orders for the long positions exist, and we can get a lot of the whales can get a lot of liquidity from those. So before going here, I would say we will do something like this, maybe like this and this and this. Technically we will still have a higher low and we'll go up without a lot of the long position holders. Another thing which I was going to mention is that these days a lot of people are pointing out to the 100 days moving average, 100 weeks moving average, and indeed there was a very nice touch of this moving average over here. First time, second time, but I wouldn't say that it's really something substantial in terms of the support. I mean, for example, here there was also the test of this moving average after we broke it to the upside, exactly like here, but that wasn't really the lowest point. Here was the lowest point. We actually had a very small correction at this area. So yeah, you can make a case on the correlation between here and here, but I would say that this is quite of the stretch. So I mean, we shouldn't go below that if this is the true. And also look at the 200 weeks moving average. This is much more substantial. For example, here we have the price going lower than 200 weeks moving average, manifesting that this is the bear market and we are going down to the bottom, and the other way around, when the price moved above this moving average, we are moving to the bull market, and basically there was no time when the price touched this 200 weeks moving average, and right now it is at $6,000, almost $700. So the point is, if we'll go below 100 weeks moving average and we'll try to test this 200 weeks moving average, it would mean that Bitcoin is doing something really different from the previous bull market, and in general this is a very nice attempt. That would be a nice attempt for moving much lower. So I would say that although this is of course possible, there is nothing impossible on the market right now, but I view this as very unlikely to happen. But again, let's indeed look at the level of 100 weeks moving average and if it will hold. And by hold, I mean it shouldn't be the closing and opening below this level. I mean, like weak like this is fine, but otherwise, yeah, it could be really nasty. So today I was going to talk about the volume. And by the way, before saying that, I must apologize for the energy airdrop. It appeared that when I was making the video, it's already over. I mean, the registration is closed for the airdrop itself. Sorry about that, guys. When I was testing it, it was working fine, it was available, but probably, you see, the conditions are very appealing, so people took their spots on the airdrop very fast. Well, I hope that some of you did anyway. So now about the volume thing. So you see, a lot of people are arguing that the volume here at the area of the accumulation was relatively the same as the volume here when we had the highest area of the market, and indeed like here as well. And right now we have very small volume on the breakdown, so it's not really like a V-shaped bottom or something. And yes, they are right technically. Moreover, I would say, first of all, this is most of the volume taken from the stop orders of the long positions and liquidations of those positions. And second thing is that if you look at the volume not in the Bitcoin, because here this is the volume in the Bitcoin, right? And here is the volume in dollar. So you see in the area of accumulation, even here, if you sum this up, there's a very low volume comparing to the area over here. So yes, technically you may say that around here people just selling those positions in order to dump the market much lower, in order to accumulate the coins at much lower price. Is it possible? Yeah, it is possible, really possible. But here is one thing. First of all, if we look at the on-chain data, then we would see that, for example, at this area and actually on the way up, there's a lot of the coins which were sold from the long-term holders with huge positions, and then lower than that, like $6,000, $3,000, they were buying back. While at this area, there is nothing like that happening. So all the majority of the long-term holders, they don't sell at this area. They hold their positions. They don't sell even here, which means that all the trading which is happening right now is basically for the very short-term holding coins. And the only thing which is happening is the process of shaking out the weak hands, traders, leverage positions, and so on and so forth. Then if you would assume that the price is manipulated by like huge players and they try to dump the market to the area where like even long-term holders start to sell, then first of all it should be much lower than $3,000. Second, they may face a kind of resistance, well actually it will be a support at this area when a lot of people with huge chunks of money will buy at this point. Why? Because they see the opportunity, and it's really hard to say which portion of the traders, of investors, will be bigger, those which will try to sell to fix their profits, or those which will buy in at the lower price. And don't forget also that when we are looking at the volume, we don't have the data for the OTC market. So it's very likely, I mean it's very possible at least, that at this area we had a lot of like very huge volume on the OTC, which is much bigger, which is happening right now on the spot exchange. Indeed, the OTC volume may go here and be used in order to manipulate the price action. So my main point, yes, we could see the dumping of the price much lower, but this is not the beginning of the new bear market from the standpoint of the holders of like long-term positions. And while they're holding still, there is no volume in the market, there's no liquidity. There is no reason for the huge players dumping it, because the only thing which they will get is the traders which maybe not cautious enough, not careful with their stops and their liquidation zones. Of course, I may be wrong, so don't quote me on that, just my personal opinion, not a financial advice as usual, but we'll see. It's very interesting time right now. I still stand on the fact that we have a very nice chance to go up, although the technical picture of price action is very bearish right now. One way or another, let's see how it will go. So far, that is it for today. Thank you for watching.